Hey, what up, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to the CornbreadReturns YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming out, really appreciate it, and welcome back to our tutorial series on Let's Play Objects in Space. We've just been, I've actually just been running through a pretty extensive tutorial series, trying to add to it and expand to it. I noticed that we kind of missed out on maybe some of the basics, if you've been watching some of the other episodes. If not, welcome for the first time. Today we will be covering one of the more basic things in objects in space. So as you can see, we're just docked. That lady's waving at us because she wants us to talk to her. We're not going to talk to her right now. No matter what, we are just docked at any old spaceport. And if you've been playing this game by now, you'll know that there are all these terminals. There's one to undock. There's one to, look at the different cargo you have in your ship over here and sell it and buy stuff and, all that good stuff. But there's also this, and this is your commerce link. And this is kind of like the lifeblood of making a living in objects in space, right? It's where you can get access to different licenses to work for different vendors. It's where you can get access to loans, which can get you some credits to buy some cool stuff for your ship. It's really got a little bit of everything on it. And in another episode, I actually went through bounties. I did show off kind of the bounty system and doing stuff like that. I am in the middle of doing a more of a thing on like piracy, which should be coming up in the next few days as well. But today what we are specifically talking about is contracts. And basically what these are freighter contracts, right? It's transporting goods from A to B, right? Wherever B may be. And so to start any contract, you got to dock up with a place like this. I am in the Prefect Outpost, which is one of the, I forget what system I'm exactly in. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's one of the main systems. So the fees are high, right? It's 100 credits to dock and get undocked. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check out the contracts that are available to me. So first things first, let's just look at this as is. You can see just by selecting any of these, it will highlight in whatever, when you in this kind of turquoisey color to say, hey, we have this selected, and it'll say cargo contract. It will give you an idea of the difficulty. We will get back to that in a second. It will give you the client, United Leon Space Enterprises. The reason I have access to this is because I have a license to operate for the United Leon Space Enterprises, and I believe this is actually the license that you start the game with. If you've been through the story, I will not give you any spoilers, but there's a little bit of an intro to the game where they tell you a little bit how to play, not very much. But through that process, you get gifted, I will say with air quotes, even though you can't see that, you get gifted a license to work for the United Leon Space Enterprises, right? So that's the one you start off in the game, so you might have that available to you. Okay, so what are we doing? We are transporting 16x produce, right, which is just like food, from Prefect, where we are, to Penitent Commercial, right? Oh, and here's the most important part, right? 101 credits on delivery, right? So we get 101 credits as soon as we deliver it. We require 16 units of free temperature-controlled space. Now this is important because I'll show you here in a second. If I go here, this requires radiation shielding, right? And the previous one required temperature shielding. Some jobs require no shielding whatsoever. The reason this is important because if I go out of here, and you remember, if you saw back in here, you can see right here, I've got purple, and I've got the red, and then I've just got the normal. These are all the pods that I have in my spaceship. I am running a cargo class vessel, which is a very, very common starting vessel. And the red, as you saw in those contracts, this is temperature controlled, this is radiation controlled, and this is nothing, right? I can upgrade those by going into our oh, excuse me, I meant to hit this commerce link. I can upgrade that by going over here, checking out our little ship link, going to pods. You can see all my different pods. I've purchased all 8 pods in my thing, but I have no upgrades in this. I have radiation shielding in this. I have temperature control in this. I recommend, just a little tip here, don't upgrade these unless you need the space. right? Unless you need the space, because otherwise you're just throwing away money that you could possibly need for something else. That being said, there's nothing wrong with upgrading to do a specific contract, because the upgrades are permanent, so it will just continue to help you throughout your going through the game, your progression, I should say, as you start to get more money. So that's important as well. The second thing is the jump required. Do I need to go out of the system to deliver this? And in this case, the answer is no. If I go down to this one, however, I need 19 units of radiation shielded space to take this contract, and a jump is required, which means this is not in this system. And you can see right here, medical supplies from Prefect Outpost to Cox Bazaar in Maru. And Maru is the system, right? So that would require a jump. You can see jump requires yes, and a time limit of 24 hours. That is the last thing that's super duper important, and mainly has to do with the difficulty, right? You can see this one says medium, and this one, this one says medium, and this one says easy. That is because, this is within the system, requires no jump, and they give me 36 hours, which is quite a long time. In fact, I do not believe I've seen a mission with longer than a 36-hour timetable. So just to give you some kind of point of reference in that sense. And this one is medium because not only does it require a jump, which takes more time, because especially if you're in the beginning of the game, which is very common for doing these types of freight missions, right? And you don't have a jump drive, so you need to go to a jump gate. If you guys are looking for a little help what that means, what does jump even mean, go ahead and check out this tutorial series. A link to the full playlist should be in the description of this video. That will give you, I do have a separate video on jumping. I have a separate video on a lot of this stuff. So when in doubt, definitely check that playlist out. But this is just the cargo missions right now. So great, we get a payment of $249. Generally speaking, the harder they are, the bigger the time limit, the tighter the time limit, the further they are in terms of the jumps, and the more specialized they are in terms of shielding and temperature and all that kind of stuff, the more the payment is going to be. You will find that as you get a little bit later in the game, you get more upgrades to your ship, you get more licenses to work for more contractors, you will find that the payments get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it really makes it worth your while, right? So for the sake of this video, we're going to do both of these. First, we're going to grab this one. We're just going to zip on over to Pennington Commercial. We're going to deliver this, and then we're going to go ahead and do a jump and go ahead and go tomorrow. So we're actually going to grab both of these. Side tip, I am creating a video right now on kind of the, I believe I'm up to 7 things. 7 things I wish I had known before I had started this game. I am working on a video right there that takes a little longer just because I got to put all these things together and get all the footage. But I'll give you a little quick hint. I will give you a little hint preview on one of my things. Take as many of these as you can that you think you can complete. Especially what I like to look for is I like to look for things going to the same system. Now, this one's within the system, and then this one's the only jump I have to make, so it's just one jump. So I feel pretty comfortable taking them both. But honestly, because remember, every time you jump, if you don't have a jump drive, you need to pay fees. Every time you dock, you pay fees. So those fees can be, sometimes hundreds of credits. So you really want to make sure that you're making this worthwhile when you're jumping. When you're doing cargo. So I'm going to go ahead and take both of them. So we'll go ahead and grab them. Now it goes green. You can see I've taken it. Yellow is available. I've taken now both of these. If I whip out my handy-dandy little notebook and I tab over, I can see that these are there. This is one of the main story missions. I won't, hashtag no spoilers on this. I do have a bounty open. There's no time limits on those, so I can do it at my own leisure. But anyway, we should get moving because we not only have to make a trip here, we have to make a trip here. And we haven't burned any time yet, but no worries. I have already paid the fees to get the hell out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have our contracts. They are available to us. We are good to go. Strangely, the audio got somehow transferred on my thing to come out of my my monitor, which is very, very strange. I am actually going to go ahead and put a very short little mini cut. You guys might notice it in this video just to check to make sure all my settings are good. This is really tripping me out. So hold on for just 1 second, guys. All right, we are back. Thank you for holding on. The cut should be almost instantaneous for you guys. But anyway, we were on our way to do this mission. Great, wonderful, fantastic. So yeah, as I was saying, we are on our way. We've got 2 missions. We've got to go, if we go ahead and undock immediately. I like to check this once in a while just because this can get really confusing when you have multiple contracts going on. We are going to Pennington Commercial. We're going to get 101. We have temperature controlled units. We are good to go. Right now, where are we? We're going to go ahead and center. We are in the Prefect Outpost, correct. Let's go ahead and go out a little bit. Hey, there's Pennington Commercial. We will go right by that. The center star and the nebula. Go ahead and set our autopilot down here. We'll go ahead and center up again, and let's engage. And just for the sake of this video, I will time warp us. Now, a few things to talk about while we are heading along here. You will notice when you start doing lots of contracts that not only will you get scanned, like I'm about to get scanned right here, you will get more pirate activity. If you're just out and about and you're not carrying any goods or stuff like that, you're generally not going to be a target for pirates. And the reason is because they know you don't have any valuable cargo. And I will include this in my pirating video when it does come out, but just know that you will be the target of pirates. And for that, I recommend checking out my stealth video in this tutorial series. For sure, check out that stealth one. And check out also, well, actually, I'll just show you in this video, if you do get hit by a pirate and they tell you to jettison your stuff and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you have no chance of making it to a port, there's no authorities around, you're in trouble, right? They're going to blow you up. You can go ahead and jettison all of your cargo just by hitting this. If you hit the top jettison button, that will jettison the one you have selected. So you can see I go back between all my pods here. And so just know that if you do get, you will get hailed on your communications beacon. In fact, let's just go ahead and slow down for a second because we have just identified a contact without any IFF on. That's this guy right here. Most likely a pirate right here. It is a Leander class freight vessel, which is exactly like mine. And it could just be another freight vessel that's just, dirty along, and he doesn't want to get blown up, so he's in stealth mode. He's got his IFF off, right, which is your beacon, which kind of tells everybody who you are and where you're in the area. That can actually be another side note. I do talk about this in one of my other videos. That is right here. You can control that. And so that's usually a warning sign, though. When you see guys floating around with their IFF beacons off, that's usually a warning sign that they are pirating. They're up to no good, right? And what they will do is they'll come up behind you, try to get close enough to you, depending on the kind of equipment they're carrying. If they have a good hacker, right? Pirates usually carry really good hacking systems. They can scan you, see that you're carrying precious cargo, and that's why they target you. They want you to drop your stuff, right? They want you to drop your shit, basically. They'll hail you. They say, stop, drop all your cargo, jettison all your cargo, or we'll blow you to hell. And that's really just because they're trying to take your cargo and go sell it on the markets, right? To basically make money by pirating. And so you will notice that you attract quite a bit more attention when you have precious cargo. That is just kind of part of the game when you're doing a freight. And so it can be a little more dangerous than you would think, versus doing bounties and stuff like that, which is why I actually recommend, even in the early game, checking out those bounties for reals. Check out those bounties for sure, because it's not as intimidating as you may think. For that, definitely check out my bounty video. It's a really nice tutorial on how to do that, how to get a weapon system, how to use it, all that good stuff. But anyway, we just docked at our first thing. Need to go ahead and make it quick. We will get out of here, go over here. I always like to pay my fees first. And that's because I always want to make sure that I have enough money to get the hell out of here. So we just paid $100 in fees, 100 credits in fees, 100 ducats, if you will. Go to our contracts. Hey, what do you know? We select this one. We got to take it to here and go ahead and deliver the contract and get our 101C. You can see now we gotta go and deliver our other one. Now we'll say that was a very non-worthwhile mission. If you think about it, our profit was only one credit because we have those docking fees, and that's really where it comes down to that tip I was telling you guys earlier. Make sure you're planning this so you're making money. You want to stay profitable. You want to have a nice cushion on your things, which is why taking multiple contracts to the same from one system to the same other system is very, 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 very beneficial. Now, we actually have a jump drive, as you can see that right down here. Check out my jumping video if you guys want more information about this. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I'm going to go ahead and charge it up. we'll see where we have to get. We actually need to get to Maru. So we're going to go ahead and go in here, check out our cluster map here. We need to go to Maru. We're going to set our destination. We need to get into Quadrant D. We'll go back to our sector map. We'll go over here, and Quadrant D is in the bottom. You can see this has come up as nice and pink on our map. That means we need to get over to Quadrant D. It's no worries. Pretty easy to get to. So we'll go ahead and speed up our way on over there. We have now reached full speed, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel our autopilot. And I'm going to go ahead and bring us up to 4 speed again. And maybe, just maybe, guys, we can actually have some kind of a pirate encounter. Another tip on that, for cargo missions, if you are going to be doing a lot of cargo missions in the early game, and you probably are, especially if this is your first go through in this game can be pretty tough. Which is why I really recommend going through my tutorial series if you guys are here. I know that's a plug, but seriously, this game does not tell you very much about how to play it. So really, really going through the tutorial will help you guys a lot. It's just stuff that I wish I had a tutorial series, to be quite honest, before I had started this. But something you might want to get pretty early on is countermeasures. And countermeasures, ignore my torpedoes up here, but countermeasures are right down here. I actually have an 8 countermeasure. I'm going to go ahead and do a full stop right here before I hit into these meteors, especially on speed 4. I'm going to go back down to speed 1. We are now in Quadrant D, as you can see down here. Desired Quadrant D. I'm going to go ahead and calculate the solution, especially because we're probably running a little short on time. No, we're fine. We are totally fine. But yeah, countermeasures. Because if you are carrying cargo and you do get attacked, and oh man, you're close, you're not that far, you want to run, you don't want to actually mess around with this, you don't have any torpedoes or weapon systems to stay and fight. You just want to get to your mission objective and drop off your cargo and win, right? Countermeasures are great because they will distract their torpedoes. Their torpedoes will go for the countermeasures straight up like submarines. It's a great thing to have. Maybe I'll actually do some kind of a tutorial eventually on countermeasures and, avoiding that kind of stuff. I was hoping to be able to show you guys that within this video. Maybe we'll get attacked by pirates. Who knows? We're going to go ahead and begin our jump. Go to Maru. Very similar sequence right there as to the normal jump gate system, but just be aware that I do have a jump drive, so that's what I was just using. Definitely check out the jump video in the playlist to see a little more about that. I'm not going to go too much into that because we are just doing cargo missions. So here we are. We're in the middle of Maru. We actually popped up here. It looks like I've never jumped into Maru from that other system. No worries. If I remember correctly, we need to get to Cox's Bazar. We do. Beautiful. Always keep that handy-dandy PDA, folks. It is very, very nice. You know what? Just because I've never been in here, I'm going to manual fly a little bit here. We'll go ahead and point in that direction. We'll bring her up to speed. That's good. That's full speed for us. And just to let you guys know, tab is the shortcut to bring this up. Tab and then the little tilde, that's how you say it, is how you switch between the different modes. Right? That was just the pause screen. I can see how much money I have right now. Here's my actual things. Here's my bounties. That's really what I'm looking at, though. For right now, that's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us up to speed 4. And we're doing really well. Just making our way around. Oh, hey, look at... I should have known. Hey, what do we have here? Hopefully not a pirate. It's going to take my scanning systems a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and turn us. Excuse me. Definitely, if you guys are a little bit confused right now as to how I am navigating, go ahead and once again hit up that tutorial series. I do include navigation tutorials in this, how to move around, how to move your vessel manually. You will get better at this. If you guys are watching me and be like, man, he's flying this, you will get better at this. It definitely took me a while to get a hang of flying the ships properly, especially in manual mode on speed 4. Like I'm in speed 4 right now. I'm just cruising. It can be a little daunting at first. It's taken me many hours to get the hang of the flying. That is for sure. So certainly do not feel bad. Now you can see that this is unexplored space, right? So I really don't know. It looks like there's little things. You can see now that these things are coming into these nebulas. Excuse me, are coming into my vision. I am mapping this area. I had never actually jumped in. I probably jumped in maybe to the jump gate before. I don't know though. So you can see I'm still discovering a little part of this system, but shouldn't hit into too much stuff. I'm going to go ahead and plot us out right to Cox's Bazar. Pretty direct route right here. Go ahead and hit engage and be pretty happy about it. Go pretty close to the star, but that'll be just fine. Excellent. So we are on our way. We have plenty of time left. Plenty of time, guys. But a word to the wise. You can get in a little bit of trouble if you bite off more than you can chew. And if you take too many contracts and you start failing them, your reputation with those individual vendors, which you buy those licenses for, as I was talking about earlier, you can impact your reputation negatively. And if you do that, you will lose the ability to work for those vendors for a certain period of time. Oftentimes, I think the standard suspension is 5 days. So just know that you want to bite off a lot, and you want to like make sure your trips are really efficient. I talked about taking multiple contracts to multiple systems. Very, very good way to make a lot of money in a little bit of time. But just know that if you fail, there are consequences. There definitely are consequences, guys. And you want to make sure that you're not biting off more than you can chew. So we are coming up on our new destination. We are about to do a little turn down here so we can slow down. Remember, this is space. Nothing can. We can't just put out our little flaps and slow down. There is no air. We need to burn in the opposite direction to stop our vessel. And we have moved up to the dock. We can see everything is going very peachy over here in my systems. I don't see anything wrong. Excellent. Also, one more thing before I do deliver this contract. If you're coming over here to your comms array and you download it in your messages and you go ahead and hit mail, the game does explain this to you. When you do complete a contract, you will get an email saying you've done it. Or if you fail, you'll see one that says that you have failed miserably. You can reply and say, oh, right, I do have other messages that I needed to respond to. Sometimes people will message you with cargo jobs, transportation jobs, so definitely keep an eye on your mail. Definitely keep an eye on that mail. Like I said, I always like to pay my fees. And did you guys notice that? Another little tip here. Fees in the outer systems, as in outside of the main system, are a lot cheaper. That was 20 credits. There's nothing. So taking cargo jobs from the central systems and out into the outer systems is oftentimes a really, really profitable way to do cargo jobs. It's a little tip right there. So, boom, hey, we took the job. We are in position. We have taken it to the place it belongs. Deliver our contract, get our money, and bam. That, ladies and gentlemen, is cargo contracts in a nutshell. Now, I will say something I did not show you guys in this, and I would definitely check out my my Let's Play, which also the playlist for that should be in the description for this video. Definitely check out that Let's Play, because something we didn't cover today is what happens when pirates come after you, start shooting at you. And definitely happens quite a few times. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but let's just say that Let's Play is only, it's more of a let's try, because it's only 12 episodes long. And you guys will know why when you watch it. But it is fun. It's entertaining. It does show the basics. It shows me kind of learning the game as well and the different things that go into it. But hey, thank you guys so much for coming out. I hope you're enjoying this tutorial series. I'm trying to make sure I cover all the basics as well as the more advanced stuff. Like I said, I am coming out with a piracy tutorial thing. I will, as I really get further along into the story, I will kind of come up with more of an end game part of this. Now, I don't think there is too much craziness at the end of this game in terms of like, okay, what do you do when you have a lot of money and all this kind of stuff? I think the end game is more like really buying nicer ships, being able to be more of like the beefier ships with more armor and more weapons and all that kind of cool stuff. I think that's really the end game, is just getting all your stuff upgraded and whatnot like that. But I will have something on that for sure in this tutorial series. But thank you guys so much for coming out. If you guys are enjoying this, if you're enjoying the tutorial series, if you're enjoying any of the content, I've got a bunch of Let's Plays on the YouTube channel. The channel is pretty new. Really appreciate the support. You guys coming out and watching means a lot to me. But if you guys want to support me even more, a like, a comment, a subscribe, anything that would just be most appreciated. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.